Hello gorgeous. This video, despite my recovering from the flu, you can hear it in my voice, but we are here and we're going to tell you some secrets about men, some things that they will not tell you, but I will tell you, because why would I keep it from you? I think the list might be 4 things, 5 things as they come to me, but I think it's time that I share those things with you. The first and foremost, number 1 thing, I think number 3 is going to be most shocking, but let's go with number 1, is that when you ask your man, or when you ask a man who's not just like your brother will probably tell you the truth, or maybe your dad, but when you ask your actual romantic interest how you look in something, or if you're the prettiest girl in the room, or, this is a good one, if he ever found any of your friends attractive, hold the phone, shut down the conversation, hang it up, do what you need. He will lie to you. Men will lie about this because, let's be honest, put yourself in his shoes. We all know what us as women we are like, and we don't want to hear the real answer to that question of, does my butt look big in that? I guess these days is, does my butt look small in that? We want the opposite. We want the big butt now, okay? We want to know that we look the optimum best. We're better than our friends. We're better than all the girls in the room. We look amazing in that dress. At best, the best thing you're going to get out of a guy is, do you prefer the green or the red dress? Try them both on. He will tell you the truth. But on a serious note, and jokes aside, don't ask men these questions. Don't ask men these questions for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're not going to get the truth. And number 2, and this is first and foremost and most important, is if you keep underlining your insecurities and my big nose and my fat lip and my weird shoulder and my ear sticking out, he's going to start noticing those things. And I don't know what game you're playing, but I'm playing the game of longevity. Like, if I want to be in a relationship with someone, I want them to think I'm a magical, incredible, exquisite unicorn for a long, long time. So why do we point out the ugliest damn things to the person that we like? Because he might have not thought your ears stick out, but now, because you don't like it, he's not going to like it. And he might have liked sticking out ears. We don't know. I remember this so intricately well. I used to know a girl who was average. She was a 5 out of 10. I know people like numericals. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but let's just call her a 5 out of 10 average. Me, right? Normal girl. And I knew her when I was like maybe 15 years old. And I remember her walking into a bathroom with me, bathroom stall. We were like, I don't know, somewhere with our friends. And she looked at herself in the mirror. And because I was 15, 14, my brain was like, didn't find this weird. I was just observing her because I was a quieter person. She looks at herself and she goes, oh my God, I look so good today. Oh my God, this sweater or my lipstick or something. She was like complimenting herself. And I clocked her and I looked at her and I thought, yeah, I guess that sweater is really nice and it really does suit her. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, she said something in her comments like, well, you know how my hair is like really good texture and really nice. Well, because of that, I da-da-da-da-da. She kept dropping these comments and hints about how she's so good looking. I promise you, by the end of the year, of the end of our friendship, I was convinced that this girl was like a straight 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Now, I'm not telling you to go in with that attitude and voice out to people how good looking you are, but the opposite of that has the same effect. You need to have some kind of conviction in your good assets. You don't need to voice them because that can come across as conceited, but you do need to stop and curb asking people, especially the men that you like, whether you look bad or how do you compare to your friends and all that stuff. You're not going to get the truth. And the value of what you look like and all the beautiful things about you is actually going to go down from you keeping voicing this bullshit, which is not even true. It might not even be true how you perceive yourself. So just let it go. Don't ask those questions. That's it. Guys, swiftly, we're going to move on to the sponsor of this video. Again, one of my favorite apps, one of my favorite partners to work with is Blinkist. It basically gives you in 15 minutes what every single book that you want to read is about. The app is for non-fiction, website app, is for non-fiction books. They've got over 5,000 titles. And the reason I love it is because I love to know which titles I want to read and delve deeper into. There are so many books out there. For example, I first fell in love with self-help and all that kind of non-fiction literature from Tony Robbins. Now the guy's got Awaken the Giant, he's got this one, he's got that one, he's got the other one. You can hop on Blinkist and you can find out the basic ideas of the book in the key ideas section. The app is really, really good because it's voice first. They voice every book perfectly, really well. It's engaging. You can get on with your things. And I love it because I don't have much time. If I was to turn this camera around, you would fall off the seat that you're sitting on because it is bomb. Bomb has happened here because I've got a whole child and a whole business and a whole life and everything's happening, okay? And he's just had his birthday and I've not seen this much wrapping paper in my life, okay? So I love the app because it really, really, really respects my time, and I like it when things respect my time. Also guys, all my followers can get 7-day free trial and 25% of Blinkist annual premium by using my promo link. Oh, and also there's a new feature called Blinkist Spaces where you can link with one person or several people. It's like a quintessential book club where you can go through all your books, say your opinions, and it's a little social interaction. So guys, use my promo code, use this QR code, and let's get that non-fiction education together. Anyway, thanks for sponsoring this Blinkist. You are truly one of my favorites. The next thing that men will lie to you about. Oh, should I say this one second? Okay, I'll say this one second. Women love with our ears and men love with their eyes. And I don't mean true passionate love as in like I've fallen in love with you and now I'll die for you and you know you look like a grizzly bear at this point and we're both 75 years old, but it is true love. That is true love and it's true romance. But I'm talking about relationships and longevity, and what my platform is about is to help you live the best life that you can when it comes to interaction, relationships, and self-perception as a woman. And if you're a man listening to this, also welcome to listen because you might be in a relationship with a man, right? So it also applies. Men love with their eyes, or they get interested with their eyes. So as much as he says he'll love you no matter what and no matter what you look like and no matter this one, that one, the other one, I'm not saying you need to be a certain weight, a certain height, a certain dimension, or a certain look. But there is a thing that comes with looking the way you were when you met him. I don't mean young, I don't mean hot, I don't mean like 25 years old, but I mean that there is some attraction in having self-esteem. A really interesting thing happens when you start to focus on yourself and your feminine energy. If you want to know more about feminine energy, look at my course, 20 Feminine Energy Principles. I condensed into a 2-hour masterclass what it means to have feminine energy, okay? So check that out. But if you can deploy that kind of self-confidence and feminine energy, things fall into place. Suddenly you know how to wear your hair. Suddenly you know your body falls into the right weight frame for you. You might gain a few kilos if you're losing weight, or you might, you know what I mean, lose those kilos if you're trying to lose weight. It will balance out when your self-esteem is right. You want to look after yourself, you want to do your nails, you want to present yourself in a certain way. And as much as men say they'll love you anyway, they might love you, but they get attracted with their eyes. And sadly, or not so sadly, if there isn't a condition, and I'm going to say this like the auntie that loves you, if there isn't a condition that's really depleting you and you can't help it, I would focus on the attraction in your relationship with how you look, because that really, really means a lot to them. And I've been through things like hyperemesis. That's where you throw up 30 times a day when you're pregnant for 9 months. And listen, I did not feel like looking any kind of good, and I didn't, and that's fine. My husband loves me anyway, but I do notice when that effort and that relevance is put on the looks aspect, it moves the needle. I don't want to annoy you anymore with that. I know we all want to be loved for who we are and not what we look like, so let's close that subject. Number 3, controversial one. If he is friends with a woman who is not his colleague, who's not his realtor, who's not somebody who he has to meet because he, you know, needs to sell this drink and she is the distributor, it was either something that happened between them or one of them is holding out that something might. It's very, very rare, and men, feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but I've heard this from men. So this list does not exist from me deciding it's true. This list exists of things that men lie because either I know and I see they lie all the time, like about the whole thing of like friends being attractive, Or it's this one. Men generally are friends. Okay, let's put it this way. The female brain is attracted to things because of feeling, emotion, and human capacity. Male brain is attracted to things because of things. Now, that's not exclusive, 90 percentile, it's probably around there, 85% true. And sometimes men are feminine and sometimes women are masculine, but men are interested in things. So usually they'll be forming friendship groups because of things, the hobby they like, the things they like to do, and all that stuff. So if he's suddenly meeting Amanda for coffee for no reason, and they've got no business dealings, and they've got no hobby in common, let me tell you, there's interest in Amanda. That's just what it is. Now, what do you do with that information? What do you do with this information that I believe that men and women can't be friends, as in like, I'm not going to come home one day and say to my husband, oh my God, you know what? I met John at work. He seems like a really nice guy. We're going to go for dinner, get to know each other. Get to know each other. I cannot imagine if my husband came home and he was like, oh yeah, Jessica's really nice. No, she just started working with us. And I think me and her really get on. We should, I'm going to go hang out with her. It's normally in groups, like I would be there also, but anyway, each to their own. But I would say this, if you are vibing what I'm saying and you believe it to be true, which I know you do because me and you are friends, what should you do if he's now deciding to meet Amanda? What I always say is clock things and don't react, don't emote, and don't scream about it. If you have a partner who's putting himself out there to open himself to other women, you need to consider whether you want to be with him in the first place and in the last place or not. If he is doing those kinds of behaviors, there's a part of you that needs to simply understand it and understand what you're going to do with it. You screaming at him, you nipping it in the bud is only maybe going to nip this situation in the bud. And I always go for clear and concise communication and then decision making. You saw it, you don't like it, you say, listen, I don't believe in this kind of thing. It makes me very uncomfortable and I don't like it. If you love me or if you like me, you will understand and not do that. But if this is more important to you, you go ahead, but it just might not be for me. When he hears that, keeps going on with his behavior, it's up to you to understand whether that's the father of your children and that's the kind of relationship you want. But I would say if a man is telling you that it's just a friend, a lot of times it's not just a friend. Number 4, and last one, men will, when they meet you, and just in general, inflate things, and women will deflate things like body counts, anything. So when you meet a man and he's telling you he caught the biggest tuna out of anyone in Wyoming ever, because that's where he's from, or he built like the Golden Gate Bridge somehow, or he did this one, that one, or the other one, you don't need to cut him down and say he's a liar. But I will say that sometimes when men say things to us that seem ludicrous and hurtful, for example, like, oh yeah, I was the one, like I've been with 275 women. Take it as him saying this. You are so attractive to me that I want you to know that by me picking you, you are more attractive than 275 women. What he's trying to do is amplify his value in your eyes because he thinks that those women giving him the tick of approval is going to get the tick of approval in your eyes. Take a lot of his stories with a pinch of salt. If he was the most intelligent in his class and passed his exams, he didn't even have to study. He slept with 1,500 women, and he, once wrestled an elephant to death. Just understand that that's a compliment, and he is lying, but he just wants you to know that you're with the number one guy. Don't take it that he is a player and he's been with all these women and all this stuff. Just let it slide. If anything, if he was a player and he'd been with all these women, he wouldn't say anything. So that's that. Anyway, guys, love you lots like jelly tots. Blinkist down in the description box. Course down in the description box. Please follow and subscribe because I make these videos for you. And that would be nice of you to do in return. Bye.